Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project and Magnetic Reversal News, bringing you a magnetic excursion update Thursday, April 3rd, around 10 p.m. Mountain Time, 2025. A historic, once-in-a-generation flooding event will be developing in the next 48 hours for Kentucky, Tennessee, Arkansas, and Missouri. Buckle up. It's going to be significant. And keep calm. It's boom time. 7 now dead in the tornado outbreak yesterday that has left towns splintered in Mississippi Valley. The majority of the storm-related deaths have happened in Tennessee, where officials say nearly a half a dozen people were killed. Deaths have also been reported in Missouri and Indiana, unfortunately. The Lake City, Arkansas, one of the largest tornadoes yesterday, devastated after a direct hit. Lake City, Arkansas was devastated by a tornado that hit the community during a tornado outbreak Wednesday. And we have some footage of that coming in just a minute here. The deadly tornado outbreak has seen at least 7 people killed and spawned more than 30 reports of twisters across the lower and mid-Mississippi valleys. Not only that, this is the largest outbreak of severe weather in decades in the region. And now to follow it up, we've got more severe weather tomorrow and a potentially historic flooding threat looming after almost 100 tornadoes hit the U.S. Rainfall near Memphis, Tennessee is expected to exceed 12 inches over the next 3 days, and northern Arkansas is looking to be hard hit as well. Let's take a look at the ABC update.
Dead. This EF3 with 150-mile-an-hour winds near Lake City, Arkansas, families sheltering underground. So Lee Goldberg is standing by with the forecast, and Victor Akendo from the storm zone.
Tonight, families in fear, bracing for powerful storms amid a devastating and deadly tornado outbreak. More than 30 tornadoes reported in the last 24 hours.
All I see is a piece of plywood.
East of Memphis, lightning flashing as first responders search for survivors after an EF3 tornado with 160-mile-an-hour winds slammed Selmer, Tennessee. And northwest of Memphis in Lake City, Arkansas, a tornado emergency declared for this EF3 monster.
Please, God, keep it going right.
You can hear Britton Tyner praying as that massive tornado bore down on his family, taking shelter underground. Morgan Ernest telling our Ginger Z she rode out the tornado in this cellar with her 2 toddlers, husband and mother.
You could feel just in that storm cellar, just it shaking and the debris falling down.
This SUV landing on top of the shelter. Thankfully, they were able to get out and round up the family dog and her 5 puppies. The tornado tearing a path of destruction across town. This was Super Body Auto and Paint in Lake City. You can see that pickup truck flipped upside down. The owner and his wife were here when the tornado hit. Family tells me they were stuck underneath all of this rubble for 3 hours. Firefighters rushing them to the hospital. What did they say when they called you?
Que se le había caído el edificio.
That the building had fallen on them.
So absolutely devastating footage there. We have more footage to share with you. Here is footage from the aftermath of some of that devastation. We can see a completely destroyed home and all of the surrounding property absolutely leveled. The good news is crews are out getting things done and cleaning up the debris, and debris is plentiful in these regions. Our hearts, thoughts, and prayers go out to all those affected. And, well, they were claiming that these tornadoes were EF3, but with damage like this, I think they may have been off the mark by a little bit. This looks like EF4 damage at the minimum, in my opinion. And so we'll just run through some of this devastating footage coming out from Senatobia, Mississippi, by Brett Adair. That looks like a piece of a vehicle right there. Oh, actually, that's a riding mower. Now, people are buried beneath this debris, and that's why we've got crews out here everywhere. Absolutely devastating. And the bad news is that flooding is the next threat. We've got massive flooding here. This is in Green Hills, Nashville, Tennessee. So some of these areas flooding now are areas that typically see flooding, low-lying regions, but the rain has just begun to fall. It is the next 2 days which will bring the catastrophic flooding. And if the region is already soaked like this, it is not going to get much better. Here is the more flooding in the Nashville area. And that just doesn't look good. So what are we looking at here? This is Selmer, Tennessee, from WX Chasing. You can see recovery efforts there. Crews obviously searching either for debris, bodies. It's anyone's guess what they're doing there, but the destruction was complete from these major tornadoes yesterday that rafed the central U.S. And here we are in Selmer, Tennessee, once again. Now, the problem here in Selmer is that in the next 2 days, we're going to be seeing catastrophic flooding in this region where potentially 8 to 14 inches of precipitation will fall. And that is the sad state of the devastation in the central U.S. This is the worst severe weather outbreak in decades for this region. So anyone blaming this on climate change, well, they can just close their pie hole. This has happened before, and it's happened much worse than this decades ago. Once again, this is Selmer, Tennessee. And let's see if we've got a few more things we can show you here. This is the Lake City, Arkansas devastation. This is from Brian M. Finger. And I understand it is a little blurry. It'll clear up there. There we go. Look at this intersection here. Look at the trees. It looks like they burned, for goodness sakes. Absolute devastation in Lake City, Arkansas as well. And here we can see more debris fields from the after effects of what they're claiming was an EF3 plus. I just... 160-mile-an-hour winds do not lift cars off the ground, in my opinion. So they may have been off a little bit on this designation for this particular tornado. And here we see more flooding. This is in Green Hills as well. Holy macaroni. This is just the beginning, folks. So buckle up. We've got a big ride. The hail map for yesterday was epic. 142,000 households plus impacted by hail 1 inch or larger. 6 households impacted by gorilla hail. That's 2 square miles of gorilla hail yesterday. And let's take a look at the live updates here at Tornado HQ, where we can see all of the current weather warnings that are up. And none of them are tornado warnings tonight, thank God. By 10 p.m., most of the severe weather will start to quelch, and then we'll get a new explosion tomorrow between 4 p.m. and 10 p.m., and we'll do this all over again. We still have 3 severe thunderstorm watches out. The most recent, just 6 minutes ago, Fulton, Hickman, Mississippi, and New Madrid counties in Kentucky and Missouri. We also have a severe weather warning currently in Hickman and Humphreys in Tennessee, and a severe thunderstorm threat in Benton, Carroll, Decatur, and Henderson in Tennessee. So heed the warnings and get out of harm's way if you do get a warning for potential tornadic activity. All of the basins in blue and black are super saturated. 100%, and this is the region where the major flooding is going to happen in the next 2 days. They are already saturated, and that is bad news for what's coming. Here is the live map, and you can see more of those rivers and streams and drainage areas are now in the black. We're going to be seeing some historic flooding in the next 2 days. We will have river levels and peak crests tomorrow. But for right now, if you're in any of this region in the blue or the black, and you're in low-lying areas by rivers or streams, consider yourself at threat for being washed away in the coming days. And here's the full forecast. We've got significant and high impact severe weather event underway currently. We just showed you some of that footage. A powerful spring storm will continue across the country with multiple high impacts in the forecast. Life-threatening, catastrophic, and potentially historic flash flooding events continue across the lower Ohio Valley and Mid-South. A couple rounds of significant severe weather is expected from the Mid-South through the Ozarks and the Arklatex, with very large hail and strong tornadoes possible. You can see those regions in question where flooding, flash flooding, tornadic activity, and severe thunderstorms. Flash flood warnings in the maroon. In the green, obviously, there are flood watches and flood advisories. In the yellow, we've got tornado watches all the way here, Kentucky, through Tennessee, into Mississippi, Arkansas, and down into East Texas there. So a lot going on, and this weather event is not over. Power outages. There are people still in Michigan from the ice storm. This is a week now, 86,000 households without power from that devastating ice storm. And now we can see more power outages from the severe weather today. We've got Indiana with 33,000 customers without power, Arkansas, 13,000 plus, and 12,000 plus in Alabama. That was right when we were setting up the show. Let's refresh this and see if it's gotten better or worse. Well, it's the same numbers up in Michigan, but now we've got 23,000 without power in Indiana. So those are the power outage results. And here is the total precipitated water, and this area in yellow and purple is the regions in question for historic generational flooding. So it looks like North Arkansas, southern Missouri. And let's look at some other models. The CMC showing a little bit heavier precipitation over a wider swath of 10 to 12 inches for multiple states. Take a look at the Icon model. That is showing just 5 or 6 inches. Icon is obviously going to be coming in a little low. The CMC here, and we'll move this through Sunday. So the CMC showing, again, devastating 10 to 12 inches in 5, 6, maybe even 7 states. Let's look at the blend here. The European model shows a swath of 9 to 14 inches of rain. It's insane. Western Kentucky, Western Tennessee, portions of Arkansas, a huge area, all under threat for major flooding in the next 24 to 48 hours. So heed the warnings. It's going to get bad before it gets better, much worse. So we're going to take a look at the GFS model here. MLS rain and precipitation, and we'll move that storm through. You can see the severe weather is coming, kind of calming down overnight, but will explode again tomorrow. And so we're going to have more severe weather over the same exact region. Once again, it's like a broken record here. Holy macaroni. Let's let this load for a bit. So what we're going to be seeing here is rain Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with severe weather threats both days. And by Sunday and into Monday, this storm will finally move offshore. Finally. Let's take a look at the total snowfall for those of you who are keeping score. The next 3, 6, 9. So here we are at the beginning of the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Could be fun day. A new system moving into our region here, bringing more snow to the southern mountains, including the big winter chicken dinner, New Mexico, and maybe even the panhandle of Texas. Here is Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We just walked through a few weeks, so we do have still have some snow on the menu, but the big threat is the flooding. I can't state that enough. So, seismic update. So, Myanmar, we've got the death toll rising there, now topping 3,000, with 7,000 plus injured and 100 still missing. This is after the 7.7 magnitude rock Myanmar and Thailand, collapsing buildings and crushing people alive. The death toll from last week's 7.7 magnitude earthquake in Myanmar rose to 3,085 people as of this morning. according to an update released by the country's military government. Another 4,715 people have been injured, 341 remain missing, and that number, well, is going to be much lower when the final death toll comes out. The earthquake also rocked Thailand, where at least 22 people have been confirmed dead, 35 others injured in the capital of Bangkok. And that's all due to huge structures like this one completely collapsing during the event. Our hearts, thoughts, and prayers go out to all those affected in Myanmar. The good news that there is a ceasefire from the warring factions and recovery efforts continue. We did have a big rumbler on the mid-ocean ridge. This is a 6.9, ladies and gentlemen, 6.9 on the Reykjanes Ridge earlier today. Multiple aftershocks now translating up the mid-ocean ridge. Will this send some energy up into Iceland and kick off the next eruption? That is the guess. That is the question. 3.2 in Colorado today, west of Delta. But overall, low-level activity worldwide, except for that mid-ocean ridge activity. Now, worldwide volcano news is another story. We've got quite a list. Nevado de Ruiz to 19,000 foot. The 16th paroxysm at Kilauea has ceased. Canleon on the list, 10,000 feet. Etna, explosive activity is decreasing there. Merapi, 15,000-foot blast. Poas, possible volcanic ash. Volcanic ash observed at Reventador today. And Merapi, a powerful explosion occurring, rattling nerves. Semeru, who knew, erupting today. Ibu on the list to 7,000. Ongoing volcanic ash at Nevado de Ruiz, Canleon to 9,000 foot today. Etna showing spectacular Strombolian activity last night, but that is now decreasing. Sakurajima, 9,000 foot blast. Liwatobi to 8,000. Etna puffing and passing. Kilauea, the 15th eruption, is now over, but the tall lava fountains, now a spectacular video here on Volcano Discovery. Merapi to 13,000 foot. Poas to 10,000. Reventador, 14,000 foot blast today. And the rest of the volcanoes we're going to save them till tomorrow. Quick look at Santorini. Here is a 30-day outlook on that seismic swarm. You can see it's decreasing, but now we have larger activity coming up to the surface. Some seismologists and volcanologists are claiming that this seismic swarm is magmatic in origin. The good news is that if something erupts here offshore, it's not going to affect anyone on the island of Santorini. So that is the good news that we can share with you. Hopefully, and if there is an eruption based on the deformation and all the information that we have, anything erupting would be somewhere around VEI 3 or 4. Also a similar situation at Campi Flegrei. Now a quick look at Iceland, where they're getting jiggy for the last 3 days. Another eruption in Grindavik, which was short-lived, just a few hours, as seismicity transferred far away from the town to the north. You can see all these red dots are all the most recent earthquakes in just the last 4 hours. And now we have another seismic swarm migrating over here. So volcanologists have said a new dike has propagated up into this region, but haven't said anything about over here, where we now have multiple quakes in the last 12 hours above 3 magnitude. Will we be seeing a new volcanic eruption in a new uncharted region? Probably. Will it be this seismic swarm? Maybe not. It may be the next one in this region that kicks off the next unique eruption in Iceland. Space Weather News. We've got big sunspots facing Earth, but they've gone silent. It's called the Earth-facing quiet conundrum, and you can see zero flaring with these big spots facing us. We are, in fact, in geomagnetic storm. KP5 has been reached, and there could be good chance for aurora up in Canada, especially the northern regions. The reason this has happened is because the interplanetary field has shifted south. Let's take a quick look at the telemetry, and you can see the BZ shifting south. That's pushing us into low-level geomagnetic storm. Density also increasing. Plasma speed is at a low level. So all this is because the BZ pushed south. That's it. More interesting space weather, Sagittarius C, which is right next to Sagittarius A, in the center of the Milky Way galaxy. Well, the James Webb Space Telescope is providing the closest look yet at one of the Milky Way's most extreme environments. And when you get a close-up look of this area, it's bizarre, to say the least. Huge glowing things with filaments, which they call snakes, dancing around, when in fact what we're looking at is the electric nature of our galaxy in the form of Birkeland currents. These are, well, just look at all the Birkeland currents in the center of our galaxy here. It's absolutely mind-boggling, and the magnetic fields around some of these objects are literally time-bending. It's electric, folks, and we don't even have to argue when we see a picture like this. Lee and I will be talking about this on our radio show Saturday, replayed on Rumble on Magnetic Reversal News, 8 p.m. Saturday night. Now, we all have been chattering about the city killer asteroid, which had a 1 in 3 chance of hitting Earth. Now, those chances are dropping, but some new data is coming out that says it may be on a crash course with our moon after the Earth is likely to dodge a direct hit. Well, what could be worse than the Earth getting hit by a giant object, a planetary civilization-wide ending object? Well, how about hitting our moon? That's going to create thousands of dangerous objects that will re-enter Earth's atmosphere and smash down on the surface. Holy macaroni. The asteroid in question is 2024 YR4. It was first detected in December of 2024 and is believed to have a 3% chance of hitting the Earth in 2032. But now has a 0% chance of striking Earth at all, which is good news for us. But when concerns about the asteroid have been, well, anyway, the football field size asteroid odds of striking the moon now on December 22nd, 2032 have jumped from 1.7% in late February to now almost 4% based on new data collected using the James Webb Space Telescope. So we'll keep you updated on any new numbers coming out from this object, as it is certainly something to keep an eye on. What else should you keep an eye on? How about the full moon? April brings a stunning lunar show. Don't miss the full pink moon visible all across the U.S. April's pink moon rises this weekend, bringing with it tradition, symbolism, and a stunning night sky show. The full pink moon is set to rise Saturday, April 12th, and marks the arrival of spring. Ding, ding. At the same time, we will be at the San Luis Valley Seed Exchange in Moffett, Colorado. So it will be brilliant. Did you know that the arrival of spring plays a key role in determining the date of Easter? Known as the Paschal moon as well, it's the first full moon of the season, which sets the timing for Easter Sunday each year. Despite its name, the pink moon doesn't actually appear pink. It's named after creeping phlox, or moss pink, a pink flower that's all over this region. It's a vibrant wildflower that blooms in early spring across North America. According to the Old Farmer's Almanac, this name has been used for centuries, drawing from the seasonal connection between the blooming of flowers and the moon's appearance. And more interesting news here in science. Scientists reconstruct the face of a human who lived 16,000 years ago. And what do you think it looks like? Yeah, a human. Because nothing has changed in almost 180,000 years with Homo sapiens. We look the same 180,000 years ago as we do today. And here you can see clearly it was a not that attractive woman with bad hair. Speaking of unattractive, take a look at this idiot. This U.S. tourist was arrested for landing on a forbidden Indian tribal island. Now, the last white guy that went out here was murdered by this tribe. Police say a man landed on an island in attempt to meet the Sentinelese people, a tribe untouched by the industrial world. These are the untouched tribes, and it's illegal to go anywhere within their region. Nowhere near this island. But Mikhailo Vitrovich Polakov, 24, set foot on the restricted territory of North Sentinel Island, part of India's Andaman Islands, in an attempt to meet the Sentinelese people, who are believed to number in just about 150. All outsiders, Indians and foreigners alike, are banned from traveling within 3 miles of the island to protect these indigenous people from outside disease and to preserve their way of life. But this idiot, this egomaniac, said, I'm above all that. The good news is he didn't meet the people, because the last guy to go out there in 2018, John Allen Chow, a 27-year-old American missionary who also landed illegally on the beach, was murdered and probably eaten. So this guy, well, he didn't get eaten, but he got charged. Earlier today, we had our first afternoon update live on Oppenheimer Ranch Project on Rumble. We're going to be doing midday updates on Rumble exclusively, and they will not be replayed on YouTube whatsoever. So if you want to hear what we say midday before the nighttime update on YouTube, check it out on Rumble for the afternoon update. And also, we're begging you to support our good friend Water Dog Herb Farm. His YouTube channel just has 32 subscribers. We want to get this to 1,000 tonight. That means everyone listening to my voice has to subscribe to his channel tonight. His amazing interview with us was one of the best interviews I've had in years from any content creator. He's a very smart man. We talked about debunking the whole CO2 narrative, and there's no way he will be monetized ever on YouTube. But let's get him some subscribers and some views over at this video. We would appreciate your support for Cyril over at Water Dog Herb Farm. Give him a thumbs up. Tell him Diamond sent you. And that's a boom to knowledge. We love each and every one of you. Hit the thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. Half of you listening are unsubscribed, and it will help our channel grow. The best thing you can do is subscribe. And be safe. Well, we'll see y'all in just a few days over at the San Luis Valley Seed Exchange. We can't wait for the first event of the year. Yeah. Be safe. We love you. And that is a boom.